Hey, just to be clear, 100% clear, I do not own these two property. It all belongs to Nickelodeon and also Paramount. I'm just only making this video just to compare the two films. So hopefully I don't get a copyright strike. Well, if I still do, then I don't know what I'm going to do, honestly. Well, if you haven't heard, I had a new channel since my old one just got deleted for no reason. So this is going to be my first comparison video, and we're going to be going back to the basic by remaking the SpongeBob vs. the Loud House video. So yeah, this is by far the worst thing that happened to me in my channel. Whatever, let's just get this over with. SpongeBob and The Loud House are the two most popular Nickelodeon shows, and they're both one of my favorite cartoons. Okay, well, me personally, I prefer SpongeBob because I grew up with it more, but I am also more connected to the characters from The Loud House. But I have a question, a very good question. Which of these cartoon franchise has the better movies? Like how the Loud House film from 2021 compares to the first original SpongeBob movie from 2004. I guess we're about to find out. Oh, and by the way, I'm going to be posting my videos in my other channel, just in case. Alright, we all know the story of SpongeBob, right?
Good one, Squidward! Because it's true!
Here's your food. It's not that funny!
Yeah, when you kind of think about it, SpongeBob is actually a less of a story, and it's just more of a cliche fest, where you just post some cringe moments on YouTube. Well, The Loud House has did some cliche stuff as well, but I found the story to be better here because The Loud House is all about family and relatable stuff through and through. Okay, as for the story in The Loud House movie, the Loud sisters has to do their usual routine, and Lincoln Loud just felt overshadowed by his 10 sisters, and then he discovered a multiverse where the Loud family team up with SpongeBob and his crew to stop Plankton and his army. Just kidding, that's just my prediction of how the SpongeBob and the Loud House will turn out. A crossover which Nickelodeon will never make. Ah man, a man can dream. Okay, with all seriousness, the actual story of the Loud House winning a lot of trophies, Lincoln just felt overshadowed by his 10 sisters, and it was pretty sad. Well, if you have siblings like Lincoln Loud, then you will find that pretty relatable. Okay, later on, they soon discovered that they're go to Scotland to visit their relative, and Lincoln Loud realized that he has to become the Duke to be as special as his sisters. Well, SpongeBob is a cartoon that doesn't really have a story, and the SpongeBob movies are technically the same thing. Well, except I found the plot to be more engaging. Like the SpongeBob movie has a lot of strengths, but with some weakness. Well, despite the 2004 SpongeBob plot being good, wait, no, actually, it was not good. It was really fun to follow the story of SpongeBob and Patrick going on a mission to get Neptune's crown, but the plot just also felt rushed with the overall pacing. Like, they really got to the next scene pretty quickly, like we're watching a movie straight out of the cartoon. Well, I didn't mind it at times, because this movie also had some pretty slow moments. The Loud House movie, on the other hand, never had this pacing issue. Well, it can be pretty slow-paced when you spend time with Lincoln Loud being the Duke, which I will admit, it was pretty annoying. Okay, well sure, I know it is trying to be a funny movie, but with Lincoln Loud being the Duke and all that, it took away the screen time what the Loud sisters had. So, I guess the pacing in the original SpongeBob movie is better. Well, at least for children, it is. Well, I don't know about you characters enough screen time over a movie that overall rushed the adventures of the cartoon best friends that doesn't have time to take time with more heart and care put in it. SpongeBob and Patrick Adventures to Shell City might be fun, but the Loud House movie is a movie where you get to experience the world of Scotland. Like, it is a experience movie. Well, although, I think the animation in the 2000 SpongeBob movie is better. Well, I enjoyed the for me since I saw that the Casa Grande film has a more cinematic yoke. Okay, with all that be said, the movie with the superior story and much better pacing for me is the Loud House movie. Okay, just to be clear, I am talking about the movies, not the franchise, so I do not care if you're a hater or a lover of both of these cartoons. Just don't get mad at me at the end of the video, because this comparison video was just my opinion. So whatever I choose is better. It does not mean I prefer one than the other. Well, even though I prefer SpongeBob. Okay, well, SpongeBob's whole journey and character development is about him proving that he is not a kid. But at the end of the movie, he just accepts for who he is. And that makes me proud of SpongeBob for how much he improved. Well, as for Lincoln Loud, he get to see more of Lincoln's deep development. Although both of these movies had musical numbers, well, for the SpongeBob movie, it has like 2 musical numbers. And for the Loud House movie, well, it has more than just 2. Well, I am not a fan of musical numbers, but in the Loud House movie, I kind of don't mind them a bit. Well, SpongeBob is usually an annoying character, but in this SpongeBob movie, I don't see him that annoying. SpongeBob was charming enough, and I would be with him all day, rather than Lincoln, Duke stuff. Well, just because of the voice actors has changed. Well, the original SpongeBob movie did made my childhood, but I'm more into Lincoln Loud story. Okay, now let's talk about the characters. Well, the side characters in the first SpongeBob movie are barely in the movie, so the only characters that has more screen time is SpongeBob and Patrick, Mr. Krabs and Squidward, King Neptune and Mindy, and these pirates, even though they get half the screen time. As for the characters in the Loud House movie, we have Lincoln Loud and his family, and then we have Angus, a pretty cool dude in Scotland, and he is probably my favorite character in the whole movie. Well, even a dragon is a character in this movie. Yeah, when you just think about it, it's kind of not enough characters in the Loud House movie. Well, like I said before, Lincoln Loud, being the Duke, has better with Morag stealing the spotlight, and we will talk about her in the fill-in segment. Okay, despite the side characters not getting enough screen time, I mean, they did do my boy Squidward dirty in that movie, and I don't appreciate that. And for that, I would prefer if Squidward joined SpongeBob and Patrick in their adventures. But overall, I thought they are more enjoyable than the Loud House movie characters. Well, after all, SpongeBob did embrace himself to defeat Plankton, and he just sang a pretty cool rock song, which the Twister Sister got expired from. Well, with all that, SpongeBob and Patrick bromance was the highlight of this film. So the movie, with a way superior characters, is the SpongeBob SquarePants movie. Okay, it wouldn't be a movie without a villain in it, right? But that is the kind of generic villain that I liked, because she did attempt to kill the Loud family at the climax. Well, as for the SpongeBob movie, it's Plankton, and I did not like him as the villain in this movie at all, because his villainous motivation was just the same as the show. Okay, well sure, Plankton's plans of stealing the secret formula finally exceeds, well, at least almost exceed, but making Plankton the villain, that is a pretty bad start for the first movie. Well, Plankton was always the villain in the SpongeBob universe, and we all know he does the same old stuff. Like, he's literally right up there with Bowser, always kidnapping the princess. But seriously though, Plankton was a bad idea for the first SpongeBob movie, and the heck, not even him mind-controlling people would cut it. And on top of that, they could have made Dennis the main villain of this movie, because he made a great impression of a terrifying villain for the cartoon hero to fight. Yeah, both of these movies had pretty generic villains. But the only difference is that Morag is more of a threat for the Loud family to take on, and I never seen Plankton as a threat in the SpongeBob movie. Well, if you think that Plankton is a good villain in the first SpongeBob film, then you can like what you like, I guess. But for me, I think Morag is a superior villain all the way. Okay, SpongeBob, without a doubt, gets the upper hand when it comes to comedy. But the only comedy that I don't like is the nudity that they show in the kids' movie. One time, I watched this movie with my friends at school during lunchtime, and we almost lose our appetite when we saw an inappropriate scene. Okay, with that being said, they did have a cameo within special actor, and even the pirates were talking about it in the post-credit scene. Well, I found the comedy in the Loud House movie to be funny, but I didn't laugh out loud, just like I did with the SpongeBob movie. As for the SpongeBob movie, SpongeBob just rocked out a legendary SpongeBob rock song. If it weren't for this song, then the Twister Sister would have expired it. Okay, well, I wish that they have a climax battle with King Neptune, just like in the SpongeBob movie video game, but it was still awesome. Okay, these segments in both of these movies are great, but it depends which one do you prefer more. But for the comedy, SpongeBob wins this round, because not only it is hilarious, it is pretty much a comedy straight out of the actual SpongeBob cartoon. Well, looking back at the Loud House movie and their comedy, well, don't get me wrong, it is actually pretty funny, but it doesn't feel like it is straight out of the cartoon for me. In fact, the first Loud House movie doesn't feel like a Loud House movie, which we can all agree. Yeah, overall, I'm giving this round to SpongeBob SquarePants movie.
Patty? You okay, sweetums?
Well, I gotta say, it was a fun time seeing these two masterpieces from the 2000 era to the 20 era. Okay, well, just say what you will about the Loud House movie, because they pretty much hold their own of having a movie. But I can't say the same for the live-action movies. Well, it was real impressive that they were able to air in 2 seasons, but it was still trash, like it's always been trash, and there's no doubt about it. Well, the SpongeBob movie from 2004 was the best SpongeBob movie, and it is my first SpongeBob movie before I watched the rest of the SpongeBob film. Okay, well, there's nothing deep about both of these films. Like, not really. But I was so impressed with both of them, and I come out having fun with the 2004 SpongeBob movie when I rewatched them again, and even the special effects in CGI were great. And CGI was a challenge back in the 2000s. Okay, The Loud House 2021 is a good movie, but watching this film again, it doesn't feel like a cinematic movie. It was just a Netflix film, after all. And think about Lincoln being the Duke and the musical numbers. It really wears you down for a while. So I guess SpongeBob can do exactly what the Loud House movie don't. So for my rating scores for the Loud House movie, I would give it a high 7 out of 10. As for the SpongeBob SquarePants movie 2004, it gets a really great 8 out of 10. Well guys, that was it for this video. Let me know in the comments down below, which movie do you like better? Oh, and make sure to like and subscribe if you enjoyed this video. And just actually subscribe to my channel, because when I had my old channel, I saw that most of you are not subscribed. So seriously, just actually subscribe to my channel. Don't just watch my video and not be subscribed. Yeah, that makes no sense to me. Oh, and also, let me know which comparison video or any different video that you want to see next, because there are so much stuff I have to catch up on before I get my followers back. So with that, it's going to be a 4th installment of the SpongeBob movie, and I believe it's coming out in December of this year, and I think we might get a 3rd Loud House movie that is about Lincoln's favorite comic book character. Well, as a fan of both of these franchises, I can't wait to see what they're going to do with these movies. Alright guys, thank you again for watching my videos. Well, remember, just actually subscribe to my new channel, especially you're new. Anyway, I will see you guys next time. Okay, what do you mean I have a strike? Oh, this doesn't make any sense to me.